Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 391 at scavengerlife.com.
Happy holidays from New York City.
Good old New York City.
Yep, so we've been here for the past week, and It's been good, seeing family, enjoying ourselves, doing some work. And as far as our eBay sales, this was a week that I've been waiting for all holidays.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the week right before Christmas time, but, I'll take what I can get.
Well, we had extended handling time, and I wonder if our week would have been better if we had just been shipping stuff from home. But you know what? The trade-off is we get to hang out in New York City. So that's what it is.
It's good.
And
as far as scavenging goes, we've talked about this before. If we lived here,
right,
like I used to, I would just be walking the streets at night, looking to see what people throw in the trash. Not even going through bags. Just people will just put stuff just on the side, on top of bags, and you're like, wow, this is amazing.
I mean, what we found so far is a huge bag of high-end, casual clothing that had never been worn.
Yep.
Most of the stuff I was like, this shirt's brand new.
Yep.
This person never wore this.
A nice lamp, like a metal lamp.
Kind of like a big metal table lamp, kind of a designer.
And then a big box of books. I mean, and this is really without even
books.
trying.
Just you came home from a walk the other day with this big box of books that weighed I think this thing weighed like 40, 50 pounds. And you're like, I walked from First Avenue.
I was motivated, It's good. So anyway, it's fun. Okay, a couple things. Last podcast, we talked about, building a life instead of just a business.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Someone on the forum said something that I love. It was a thrift shift. They said, I do feel like a millionaire. Because it's what I always say. Like we might not make $1 million, but I feel like our lives are like we're millionaires, where we just have our time. And they say, I live across the street from a great school and can drink coffee in bed while parents are dropping off the kids.
The drop-off line.
Yeah, snakes around the block at 7:30 a.m., and the parents go off to work, I guess they make their plan of the day over a breakfast. Right, casually.
We do that too.
And they're not running out the door to just the chaos of their lives. I don't like to think of my life as choices being justified by an hourly wage. We talked about that. People are like, how much is your time worth? And what's your, I don't like doing that either. And they say, my current bills are paid. Our future expenses are planned out and investments made. So we'll enjoy our life without regrets.
That's great.
I love it.
I love that we can connect with those people on the forum. I love that we have this community of people that I'm like, yes, I get that. I connect with that, on a deep level.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. The struggle's real. Having to make a living and pay bills and deal with debt. It's real. But, there has to be some level of gratefulness when you're, doing all of this. Instead of just I've got to make more money, more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, someone on the podcast said last week that they do automatic unpaid items.
Unpaid item assistant.
Right. Have we turned that on yet?
Look, I turned it on, and I am super impatient. I'm like, I don't want to wait 2 more days for this person not to pay. I can't. It's still turned on. Actually, I ended something from a week ago that the person is totally not going to pay for. I forget what it is. And the cool thing was eBay relisted it for me instantly. Once I closed that case, I was like, give me my final value feedback. It relisted it. So I was like, okay, that's super helpful because relisting it is a pain. And if you forget, then you're kind of screwed. But, I am super impatient. I can't wait 4 days.
Yeah.
I wait 48 hours.
I guess it's for us, unpaid items are, it's not that they don't happen. It's just that they come in 1 or 2 at a time every week or 2. Yeah. So it's not like you're having to deal with many,
I'm not a high volume enough seller to... Some people are like high volume clothing sellers, and I get that. They're like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. Just let it do its thing.
Right.
And I'm like, not like that.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually that is helpful, where if you kind of forget that there's an unpaid item, you're like, oh, I'm glad they opened the case. But I'm like on it down to the minute sometimes. So that's just me.
The other thing interesting, it's Manhattan, our friend and scavenger, Faith.
Yes.
AKA Flim.
Flim.
We met her for lunch, a buffet, of course, an Indian buffet.
Oh, it was great.
Delicious.
It was pouring rain that day, so it was perfect.
And it was great. It was, we got to talk to her about her process, her changing sales. She's mainly clothes.
Yeah, clothes, shoes.
It's always interesting to us because she's in Manhattan scavenging, which is like a totally different beast.
It's almost like a different business.
Yeah, from those of us, you
Yeah.
know, she has different access to different kinds of
high-end stuff.
And she's good
higher
at what
prices.
she does. And we talked to her about Poshmark,
Yeah.
People on the forum have been talking about it. It seems like a lot of people that sell clothes are really trying to branch off into Poshmark, and it's Macari and
Stuff like that,
Facebook.
Yeah.
It's been uninteresting to us. It's like, who knows. Anyway, so based on what she told us, you decided to spend an afternoon and try it.
Okay, when Poshmark first came out, this is years ago, several years ago. I think it might even be 4 or 5 years ago. I started listing on it. But they only had a mobile app. You couldn't do it on the computer. So that was an extreme pain in the butt because I could only use it on my phone. So I had to somehow get my photos on my phone, which at the time I was taking pictures with a regular DSLR camera. So I would have to take screenshots of the pictures, download them, blah, blah, blah. It sucked. So I was just like, I can't think about it. I don't care. And then Faith was like, no, you can actually do it on the desktop now. Kind of cross-posting to Etsy or Mercari or wherever. So I was like, you know what? We have some clothes that I think might do okay on Poshmark. Vintage, higher end, whatever. Although I think everything can do okay there. So I started listing there, and it is a pain because I don't have any of my photos on my computer or in Dropbox or anything. It's all just through the app and through eBay. So
right. I mean, it's definitely, a process we changed to make it simpler for eBay.
Right.
Instead of taking photos on a separate camera, putting them on your computer, then uploading them to eBay, we switched to what people were talking about, and it's great. You just take pictures on the phone because phones take such good pictures now, and it automatically uploads to eBay. So we don't have that backup.
I don't have 2,000 photos on my phone.
Right.
It's just up. So what I need to figure out is, InkFrog has my whole inventory, and
right, InkFrog is this third-party kind of eBay.
You can list through InkFrog, which I don't.
Yeah,
but they back up your whole store essentially, and I'm like, I know you can export a CSV of your store, but that doesn't really help me. I need the photos, and I need the photos linked to, the item numbers or something. I don't know. So I have to figure out if that's possible. I've searched their FAQ in their help section, and I don't see anything about it.
Right.
So I'm kind of
Yeah, I mean, we're just basically doing this more for...
It's an experiment.
Science. Yeah,
it's an experiment. It's one of those things where, honestly, if I put up... The problem is we have so many clothing listings, and I've put 4 things up on Poshmark. I don't know, maybe if I could get a couple hundred things up on Poshmark and a couple things sell for high prices, then I feel it's worth it.
Just like what we always say, for us, the more time we spend doing Poshmark, the less time we're
doing
putting
eBay.
stuff on eBay, and so you start spreading it yourself out. And I know I'm looking for people to share their numbers. They're like, I make $300 a month on Poshmark.
Right.
It's just when is it worth it to spend your time in other places?
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know the answer either.
Interesting thing about Poshmark is they do square photos only, and they only allow 8 of them. I think the square photos, in my sense, is because they are primarily a mobile app.
Yeah.
shopping experience.
Right.
So they just care about like you're holding it up and down, your
Right,
phone,
right.
and the square. People don't do the
like landscape
the
versus
16 by 9.
portrait or whatever.
And then also the titles are a lot shorter too.
Titles are shorter. I have to see if it's like 50 characters, which makes it obviously difficult because you paste in your title and you're like, okay, I definitely have to take a bunch of words out.
Yeah.
And what I did do, which is funny because I checked on the forum with other people, I'm like, is this how you guys are doing it? And everyone's like, yep. Like, I just paste the title into the description, and then I kind of, like, pick the words that are the most important. And there are item specifics that you have to go in and fill.
Now, Faith said that she puts her prices up higher on Poshmark.
They have higher fees.
Are you doing that too?
They have a 20% fee.
Right.
Depends on the item, but yeah, pretty much I've been going basically 20% higher because I think the fee is 20%. You can also do offers, so people on Poshmark I think can send you, hey, would you take such and such for this? I haven't shopped on Poshmark, so I actually don't know how. I should try to buy some stuff on Poshmark and just see how it works. But
someone on the forum was saying that they were buying stuff off of Poshmark
to sell on eBay, right?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
That they were saying that they are giving really low offers and they're getting really amazing stuff for cheap. And then I asked, well, are you trying to resell this stuff? And the person didn't answer.
They didn't answer.
But I wonder if that's
it might be a good sourcing place for high-end stuff that you feel like, because the thing, generally what Poshmark, the target seller audience, and this is kind of an audience on eBay as for sellers too, is selling stuff in your own closet. But I find that that's what Poshmark was built on. Literally, like if you go through their little steps of like how to sell, they're like, go into your closet, find stuff you didn't, wear very much, sell it on Poshmark. Like it's those like
the idea is to sell some of your old clothes and make enough money to buy some
more clothes. Yeah. Well, it's like those people that I don't know how many trash elves are like this, but I know other people like this. You walk in and they have a wall of shoes. It's people like that. They're like, oh, these like fancy Jimmy Choos I never wore. You're like, what? These are like $700 shoes, and they want you to sell those on Poshmark. Yeah. So, So it's a different world there. But
so anyway,
I don't know. I'm trying it. I'm just checking it out.
It's all good to try. I do not mean to be such a skeptical person, but I'm always just like, man, these sites kind of come and go.
Yeah,
and people
Poshmark's been around for a while.
Yeah. So
the thing is that I always have to remember is like it's same with Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy, all that stuff. It's just what you were saying, where it's like all this time I'm taking to like figure it out, and it's like I wasn't listing on eBay that whole time, and I wasn't doing like any other just work that makes me money guaranteed,
or just enjoying life, like
sipping your coffee.
It's kind of like what we talk about. Like, we could spend 24 hours a day, like just hammering at this job just forever. Yeah, but that's not the whole point of all this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our numbers. So we sold in this week 58 items, which is a lot of items, but we've been selling at 58 items.
Yeah, we've sold that much.
Like it's not, but we made over $3,500. And the difference is
amazing.
That our average selling price was $60.
Right, like there were several items over $100.
We sold not several, 10 to be exact.
Holy moly!
20, almost a fifth of our items were over $100, and 20 items, so a third of our items were over $50. It was just one of those weeks where people were willing to buy high dollar items
and great. To wait. We had one cancellation that was almost a $200 item, which sucked.
Yep. I don't mean to be a dead horse, but I think it's important to point out. So we're on vacation, or quote unquote vacation. Yeah. We're away from home.
Right.
We are away for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we change our handling time. Mm-hmm. To say we're not going to ship till we get back to
basically the 31st.
And then so when someone buys, we send them a message immediately.
Yep.
I hope you saw our handling time. It's going to be shipped on this day.
Yep.
Everyone has been like, no problem. They'll even say happy holidays and stuff.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
One person canceled. And so that's amazing to me.
Yeah,
you know?
one
So
person canceled.
again, it just shows like people are willing to wait if you talk to them. You know?
And it seems like it's close enough to Christmas that the hilarious thing is there were several Christmas themed things that I sold, and I was like, ooh, I really hope they don't want this for Christmas, like an actual Christmas mug. And people were like, yep, no problem.
Yep.
And you're like, what?
I mean, and also I think the 21st was the cutoff for a USPS
for
to
regular
ship.
mail, yeah. Like, they're like, Priority Express if you mail it
Right.
today.
So,
but, yeah.
Anyway, we sold like a mid-century chair for $400.
Oh, thank
a local
God.
pickup.
Thank God.
We bought it for $10. It was really beautiful. It's taken up a lot of space. We're happy to sell
It's
it.
taken a year to sell it.
You know, it's interesting, and I'm sure other people deal with this too.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly a local pickup. The person says, "Can you mail this by
UPS.
UPS?"
It's a big ass chair.
Yeah, how's that going to work? So we just say, "Why don't you set up a shipper, and we'll glad
coordinate
to help them." And then we'll see what happens. We sold a lamp, like a vintage lamp, for $150. We've had this thing for at least 5 years.
Years we've had this thing.
At least 5 years.
And so it's part of a set. And I finally was like, you told me, you're like, break this set up because this is, it couldn't actually be shipped as a
like
set.
A glass and metal. It's like
It's
hanging
huge.
lamps.
So this piece can actually
Swag.
be shipped. It's just crazy. You know where it's going?
Where?
Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's gonna suck to pack.
So that's one of those things where we saw it at an auction. It's cheap. You think it's cool. It takes a long time to sell. It's a pain in the butt to ship, and it's like a lesson. Like if I ever see that again, I'll never buy it
unless I want it for myself.
But we made money doing it. So hey, we sold a button. Is that how you say it?
You're so.
Button.
I don't know where you get this accent. Button. As if it has D in it. Button.
Anyway,
button.
A single button for $75.
Yes. So this was,
which is incredible.
Yes. Thank you.
It's amazing.
I get the credit for this.
Who gets its credit for what? Let's break it up.
Number one, you bought the lot.
Yes.
I commend you for buying a button lot at an auction because you knew that I'd be able to sort through it.
And then you get credit for
pricing it so damn high.
Yep.
So the price was actually double that. I think I had the price at $150. Now the reason is it is a huge hand-carved antique mother of pearl button or something you'd put like on a dress, or you could make jewelry out of it. It's from the early 1900s. I know that it is, or I'm certain that it probably is. That is an expensive piece of whatever, a notion.
It's one of those things I saw. It was when you were out of town once. I went to an auction by myself, and it was like, you know, some lady had died, and she had like a sewing kit,
huge sewing,
and I just saw like, I bet there's a bunch of cool stuff in there, and I bought it for $20. You know, and
huge, like three.
You can't beat that.
3 huge cookie tins full of buttons.
Just a lifetime of collecting, and
but not even just like I've seen button lots before where it's like a bunch of plastic buttons, like
all the extra ones that they pulled off your shirts.
But this lot, I think you recognize there were some really beautiful antique and vintage and mid-century and Art Deco.
Well, I think you're giving me a lot of.
I think
I was just more lucky than.
I think you saw those pieces because
we sold a set of D&D books, Dungeons and Dragons, for
which you bought for a buttload of money.
Me and my nemesis.
Yeah.
At the auction house, went head to head. I paid too much money for a box of D&D stuff, but I sold 3 of them for $240. I'll take that all day long. We sold an old political poster. Those of you that remember Barry Goldwater.
What year was that?
70.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
It's that old.
It was in LBJ, so 68. I don't know. People will. Yeah. Anyway, $175. It was cool. It was in a box lot of just a bunch of stuff, and it was like folded up.
Yep.
Really gorgeous. I feel like we could have even got even more for it, but we've had it for a while. I was like, let's just.
I had it. We took an offer. So
gorgeous.
It was what? It was $175. I think I had it up for like
probably double that.
I double, but I'm just like, you know what? It's such a like such a specific weird thing.
Burberry jacket, $300.
Yeah,
trench coat.
I will. I definitely took an offer on that.
And I'm going to say a prayer. Please don't return it.
Please, I do not want to return it.
Anytime we sell an expensive piece of clothing, I don't know how other people that sell its clothing do this. You're just like, oh, I don't really believe it.
Return this.
We're going to mail it out, and I'm just going to dread that a message that pops up on it's my phone. I'm like, oh, that's the guy, and you're like, I don't like this thing. Something's wrong with it. Oh no.
Well, that's the life we're in.
And then the last thing we sold a bunch of it's 4 sales of cups and it's dishes and plates.
Porcelain.
Yeah, porcelain stuff. I talk about this because I need to remind ourselves that this stuff does sell. We bought 2 big tables worth.
For nothing.
It takes up 4 big shelves in our warehouse.
Crazy.
Because it's hard to stack. And
you can't really.
It's just like all this stuff. And we don't know. The funny thing is, and I just tell people this who are new, we don't know a lot about this stuff. You know, we just pick it up. It's got a name on it. You search it and you put a price on it. Right. You know, so...
Well, also, like, it depends on the material. If you're like, this is a quality... Like, I can tell a cheap mug or a cheap tea cup compared to a high-quality porcelain. You can feel it when you pick it up.
But I guess, I mean, when we're at the auction, there'll be, like, you know, all these old people that, like, have been doing this for years, you know.
Veterans.
They're like a veteran auction hounds, you know. Right. Like, they were trash elves when there were really elves on the earth. You know?
That old.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, and they know this stuff. Like, they know all the names and they know the patterns.
They can pick it out.
They really know. We're more like way far away from being
I'm
experts.
like on a need to know basis. Yeah. Like, if I need to know that, I will know it. But
like,
I'm not.
I can buy that whole table for it's $50. There's got to be $50 worth of stuff there. It's a matter of being willing to like pack it all up, take it home. Well, you know, part it out.
I just want to say, like, there are lots of glass and pottery that we don't get because we're like, I don't see anything that's interesting. Right. If I see some Scandinavian stuff or Japanese stuff mixed in, I'm like, I want that because I like that stuff. I think it's interesting. And then everything else in between it, I can research and, you know. So that's how it goes. We're not just bulk buying junk. Yep. Sometimes we are, but
Scavenge of the week. We talked about the clothes that we found on the street. Some of those things I took out of the bag and put on my body.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing them.
Like, you could smell them and be like, someone washed this before they put it in, or they never wore it. I did wash them. I washed some of the clothes before I wore them.
I don't know. It's just so amazing to me. I mean, I'm like, we're getting like a whole new outfit, just like on the street. Anyway, but the real Scavenger of the week is we were at Housing Works. Anyone in Manhattan knows it's a really cool thrift store. This was an emotional purchase. I found an vintage LL Bean sweater.
Yeah, this is emotional.
It is. You know, you look at it and it's like in almost perfect shape from like the 70s. Right. It's got the old tag on it. It's like so well made.
It's wool. It's like a thick wool.
A wool is like tight and
it's a Christmas sweater. It's got like it's like a Fair Isle kind of like Scandinavian with like snowflakes on it.
I mean,
it's just a beautiful
I think I paid $20 for it, which is insane.
$20 is a lot.
But I'm like, this is such a beautiful sweater. It should sell for $300.
Well, I didn't put it up for
that. I know, so I think you put it up for one something. But anyway,
one something make offer. And then I actually put it on Poshmark ASAP. But I was hoping someone would buy it so we could ship it for Christmas. But Christmas is like tomorrow, so.
Okay, things we learned in the forum. We were talking about a lot of things this week. One thing was it's just a follow-up. Someone corrected me because I was incorrect. Sonia did. Someone called in and said, what are you allowed to give a male person as a gift? And actually there's a link on the post office website that tells you exactly what. You actually can't give cash or gift cards or anything that's associated with money.
Cash, yeah.
You can give a gift that's worth up to $20.
Right.
But it can't be cash or a gift. So I guess that means like like a baked good or like a tie or something.
Or like a
you know.
box of chocolates or something.
But, some people are like,
some people
cash.
just, I mean, let's be honest here. Some people are just going to give gift cards or cash.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that on the table.
Right.
So, whatever.
But, obviously, thank God America at that a level is not corrupt where, the idea would be is like if you're giving your post office person cash, they're like accepting like packages from you and just stamping them for free or whatever. Like that's the danger.
But
we do want to thank people. Several people sent in donations from our sidebar.
That is so nice
it's
of people.
It's a PayPal donation, and the people that did that, we've actually been using that money to kind of go out while we're here. We went out to eat.
Well, people are so cute. Like,
real quick, the problem is though, the way the PayPal donations work. There's never an email associated, so there's no way for us to thank people and email them back. So we really do want to thank people that do that.
Yeah, it's so cute because people are like, oh, don't be so frugal while you're on vacation, which we will be. It's really nice, and yeah, like Jay said, it's there for some reason. The way the PayPal donation tip jar thing is set up, like it doesn't show me your email address, so I can't like press reply and be like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So anyone who's giving us little like holiday donations, it's really, really nice. Thank you.
Okay, our coming week, we're still in It's Manhattan. We're in full family mode.
Family mode.
Mom is here, grandma.
Babies are getting kissed, and
everyone's here. We're going to have a big meal at our place.
And then we're going to have a big meal the next day, too.
Yep.
So it's all about eating food.
Yep.
It's
and then we'll go home on Thursday, and then we pack.
We go home on Friday, just so you know.
And then we pack.
And then I pack all these things.
Yep.
A lot of them are delicate, so a lot of them I'm kind of like, make me a lot of coffee and let's do this. I do have a peanut dispenser.
That's right.
That is going to help. You know what? I need to order more peanuts, like today, so they get there when I get home because I want. Like now, I'm addicted.
Yep.
I'm like, if I don't have peanuts, I can't pack a 24-inch platter that's going across the United States.
I hope people out there recognize they got to see in real time our relationship.
Well, isn't that what our podcast is? Every single friggin' week?
I think a lot of it happens off the podcast, but this happened
I mostly edit
on,
that stuff. Yeah.
On air here, and
about the peanut dispenser?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like 4 weeks ago...
We got like a series of broken items. Like people were like, my thing broke, my thing broke, my thing broke. And I'm like, Ryan, is there like something going on, And you're like, well... I'm just putting a newspaper on. I'm like, that's not enough. What about the peanuts? And you're like, I got to go out there and I got to get the peanuts. I'm like, let's get you a peanut thing.
Yeah, the peanut dispenser is warehouse worthy. At this point, I'm like, I can't do without it. Like, it takes up so much room in my office and it's worth it.
I will say one final thing before we end. While we're here, actually, one person did buy something and they wanted to cancel because we couldn't ship. But we were like, wait a second, we'll ship it. How do we do that? We have our helper who's like taking care of our cats at home, and she takes pictures of eBay for us.
Right.
You were able to talk her into where it was and how to ship it, and you sent her a label. And I think I want to get you addicted to getting her to pack stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this particular package, it was a pre-packaged like vanity light. So it already was in its own box encased in styrofoam. So I was like, she's going to walk into the warehouse building, turn to the right. It should be right there. It's not in a bin. It's like, kind of a big thing. I said, go up to the office, tape the ends, here's the label, print it out. Like, I sent her a PDF of the label. Like, I already had the measurements and the weight and stuff. And, tape it on there, put it out for the mail carrier, put the flag up. And it was great because I didn't want to... It was only a $50 sale. The sale that got canceled, which was so dumb of me, I should have had her ship that too because it was a $200 sale.
It's not dumb.
I'm kicking myself. Right. I'm like, I should have had her ship it at the same time. But
I think that showed like it's possible to make this happen. And so
Right.
this year, 2019, I think is one of my goals, and that is to organize our warehouse in a way where we
She
could
could find
teach her
stuff.
to find stuff.
Yeah, I
So,
think so.
if we were to go on trips, she
She's
could
just
just ship.
shipping.
Yeah, like we can still communicate with her
Right.
and all
Well,
that
and
stuff.
and
but-
so the other thing too is that's great is so she does eBay and takes care of the cats. She's also doing laundry for the Airbnb. So I'm in like constant communication with her. I'm like, oh, so and so needs this for the laundry. But like I'm always talking to her. Oh, like make sure the cat's such and such, whatever. She's getting the mail for us and stuff like that. So that's already like a pretty easy thing, no matter where we are in the world. If we have internet, we're like, we can text you, So, yeah, I hope, because she's basically helping us run our Airbnb right now, So if I can kind of streamline that into packing stuff while we're away, we won't have to change our handling time,
Yeah.
Like come over every morning, be there by 9 a.m., pull the stuff, put it out, ship it.
Yep.
I could even extend the handling time by like 2 days if
Yep.
I wanted. But she does have to quit her job. She has a full-time job right now. So hopefully that'll happen.
Okay, we're going to end. We'll put on its questions another time that were sent in.
We're having a lot of stuff to do.
And next Sunday, the podcast will probably be a conversation I had with Troy.
Troy's like
aka TSAT.
our like fill-in co-host here.
Well, sometimes I want to have a real serious like business conversation. I think you're less interested in those.
You mean with
talks.
numbers? Like,
yeah, with numbers.
Like serious business, we talk about all the time.
Sure,
but
sorry.
in terms of like accounting,
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, no.
And I'm not very. I'm like amateur at it. He's like a pro, and so I can ask him things. So anyway, I think that will be next week.
Yes, yay.
We're going to end. Check out our blog at scavengerlife.com for the links we talk about, and you can join the conversation on the forum. Remember, join the forum, then send us a message.
Yes, register for the forum. Send us a message. Say, I'm a real person. I just registered. And I will approve you ASAP.
We are spam-free on our forum. Every single person on our forum is a real human being. So that's why we enjoy it. Sorry for the hoops, but that's just a way.
That keeps it clean.
You can call and leave a question or comment on our voicemail line.
The phone number is 540-407-8486. You can also email us a question that you record on your phone. And our email address is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
We post an episode every Monday, and we have been doing it for a long time, since 2013. Here it is again.
Yes.
Wednesdays, we post a What Sells video, and that's by our friend
Stephen Schultz.
Yeah, and he is so consistent. I love it.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to our Patreon. That's on our sidebar, and we want to thank everyone that.
You help us so much. You help us pay for our server and our domain and
it's
our
very,
maintenance.
Friendly. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or through YouTube for free.
For free.
So you always get the latest podcast. Okay, we are ending this podcast.
In 3, 2, 1. Happy holidays.
Bye.